So game 2 versus Captain George. Playing the Polish. Let's see how he reacts. He throws his pawn in the center, e5. Just continue with bishop b2. I'm ready for the exchange. If he takes, I take. If he takes my pawn, I take his pawn. I'll just push up. The point of the Polish is to control c6 and a6. You don't want his knight to develop to those squares. You'll allow d7, but right now his entire queen side can't develop. This is called the Bugave advance because what you want to do is keep his queen side undeveloped. I'm waiting to take his pawn here. If he takes, I take. And push up and close off his queen side. He castled kingside. This is great for me. I decide to move my queen to further protect the c-pawn, and I have a discovered check, which he moved out of. If he didn't move his king, I could have just pushed this pawn up and won a free bishop. Bach closed off his queen side even further. Looks like I'm trying to just solidify my control of the center by pushing e4. But no, I decide the bishop. I say if he takes either, I'm going to take. I still am double guarding this pawn and single guarding this. That might have been a bad move, but I didn't want to exchange off my center pawns. But I did close this line, the bishop's eye on this pawn for the moment. And I'll continue to keep the eye closed, it looks like. But his bishop's doing nothing. His knight can't get out. His bishop's really misplaced over here. That's why I probably moved the knight again to move the bishop back, I'd assume. I don't want his knight to come to these squares, so I protect them with my pawn. He's threatening some nasty stuff, so I pull my queen back to protect. I understand if he moves his rook here, I can always just move my queen over, which is the plan. But this is a pretty nasty c-file. I'm okay exchanging rooks, because if he takes, I take. And then rook, rook, bishop takes. I believe that's what happens in this game, so you'll see the exchange. Now, I could have taken, and I believe I think, let's see. Do I think about taking it? No, I do think about it, but I don't do it. I wonder why. I mean, the computer probably says that's the best move, but I don't like it. Because if he moves his knight here, I can just take with the knight. I believe I moved my queen over. I was thinking of just developing this, but I think I moved my queen. We'll see. I do want this knight to move out to show him that his knight is bad. But I believe I just moved the queen over and offer to trade off the knights and the queen. Because his knight's still doing nothing, this bishop's doing nothing. And that's the point of the Polish, is to not let him develop these pieces. I could have just taken, but spent a lot of time thinking here. And I think trading off the queens is fine. I do want to get this knight out and my rook out. So this is perfect. I believe he just gave me an opportunity to get my knight out. He freed up this pawn to push forward so his other knight can be active. I probably didn't have to move this knight, but I like the opportunity. It's giving me more aggressiveness, more attacking his king. I do have this nice diagonal on his queen, but can't really do anything about it. Just waiting for him to react and make a move. I'm curious what he's considering here. I would probably push this pawn up. I'm not sure if the engine agrees with me. We'll see in a few moments. Well, he stopped hanging his knight. Doesn't bother me. Yeah, I'm assuming he's going to put his bishop here, because if I take, he takes that, and he's attacking my queen. So that's probably what's going through his head. But instead, let's see what he does. He might do that. I don't recall. Yeah, see my mouse on the screen is also saying that's what he's trying to do. He might do that. No. See, I liked this move just a few moves ago, but right now, no, I don't like it. Because he allows me to get another pin, or x-ray, on his queen. He can't check me, so... And my rook is connected. Let's see how he reacts. What does he do? Now this doesn't... Well, it works, but not really. Because if he moves his bishop here, I just take his knight, he takes, I take, he takes, I take, he takes. Okay, so he did develop his knight, finally. It is move 23, and his bishop's still doing nothing. His knight's doing something. He went straight for the knight there. Interesting. I would have done the bishop first. I guess he thinks the bishop pair is strong, but he doesn't realize his bishop is doing nothing. My knight is getting dangerously close to his king, taking away 2 of his 4 escape squares. Or 3. But, well, I guess it's only taking away 1. But I'm cool trading all this off. Simplify the game a little bit. I'm still up a pawn. No, I'm not. But that's okay. I believe he takes, but that's super dangerous because what happens is I can just push my pawn all the way down. That's why I leave my knight here. His bishop might be able to do some tricky defense. Let's see. If he went back and forward, maybe. But let's see how the game plays. I believe he takes. The rest of his pieces aren't really doing anything. No, he just moves. Moves one of his pieces. Okay. So, might as well develop my last knight. I decide to go over here. Oh, I lose a pawn. Let's see. I don't even care about the second pawn. Probably a terrible move. Who knows though. But he's hanging these, so I can grab these pawns off. I believe that's the reason I don't care about that pawn. His pawn can't move. I'm still... And I've taken away his control of this square. His bishop's under attack, so does his bishop fall back again? I don't know. No, he takes with the knight. His bishop still has no legal, no good move. Yep, fall back. And this is... He should resign. I'd say that's the game. We'll go look at the engine now. Okay. So b4 is a book move, the Polish. He plays a book move, book. b6 is an inaccuracy. Not, I mean, d5 is very good because if you guys recall, I end up getting control of the d5 square. So, it's not very good. Okay. So let's see, let's look at his move. Yeah, they're both, he's still behind just because the b6 move was bad. h5 is slightly better because I believe the computer says he will block with the pawn. And then just pull the queen back and still keep pressure on the king side. But my move is not much worse. They're saying a6 is best. I would agree. He ends up playing that later, though. What's funny is they say his e7's good. It's actually better than... No, it's worse. It's worse. Okay. They say again, check him. But my move's fine. I guess it would allow for f3, right? Let's see. f3. So they want him to check me now. Okay, castle. And again, I have this pin. If he doesn't move his king, which he moves his king, I would have had a pin. Like, let's say he played this, then it's just boom, and I'm up like 5 points. So, that was played. He's made the best move. And this gives black the advantage. They say it's good, but white had the advantage until now. I just like to tell him his bishop is doing nothing. They say c5 is best, but c6 isn't much worse. They want me to develop my knight first. I end up not touching that knight all game. He takes, I take. They say e4 is best, which I played. c3 is alternative. That's an inaccuracy by him. Ugh. I guess. Okay. F3 is terrible. They could have really punished me according to the engine. Nothing's happening. Did they recommend he? No, they still want him to check me with his bishop. The reason if he checked me and I decide to block with my knight or my bishop, it's just it just doesn't like how the king is exposed like that. That's why the computer engine thinks it's bad. Okay, so I take, he takes, I take. He's literally just hanging this. They're telling me just take it. I looked at it very briefly, but I want to develop, so I go ahead and develop my queen over, and I lost what advantage I could have had. They say he makes the best move. They say my move's awful. And yeah, that would have allowed him to develop his knight eventually. Yeah. C8. Let's see. I don't know why that's really good. I guess he's going to put a discovered attack on my queen, and I'd have to move my king. It's just ugly. That's why C8 is good. Okay. So it's about an equal game. D4 is excellent, but I just take. Yeah, that's they say G1 is best. Okay, I don't understand what placing a bishop there really does, but okay. They say I should just take the bishop here, because that frees up my pawn chain to walk free, but it'd be difficult. I liked how I did it. And that's the game, guys. Okay.